We're here in Seattle at Paul Allen's Museum of Pop, and I'm celebrating my David Bowie exhibition, which has actually been up since July and will now be extended by popular demand to the end of March. But I think what I notice, and this is only a sprinkling, of course, of my Ziggy pictures, is the unbelievable variety. These are obviously all taken backstage, and I have loads of him making himself up. But what I notice, there's always a cigarette thing in the pictures. But all that's Japanese makeup. Gave him their makeups. There's stuff in the little pots. Tamasaburo. This one, I always say it's removing his mask, but of course he's still applying, but it looks like he's about to whip it off, you know. These were early pictures. This is what kind of established my relationship with him. Taken at his home in Beckenham, just outside of London. A lot of them become. The one in the mirror is from that same session that's over there. And this ended up being on an album cover for the American release of the Space Oddity album. Who would have thought? I think these were shot just for projection during a concert at the Rainbow Theatre in London, and I projected a bunch of stuff. And there's a whole lot of close-ups of David. This, in his pink hat, he's traveling probably from Chicago to LA with, because he wouldn't fly in those days. But the pink cap, I mean, that's a pretty amazing cap for a guy to be wearing anywhere in 1972, especially in the middle of America. And this was the first picture I ever took of him. Backstage, Birmingham Town Hall, March of 1972. And there he's recording pin-ups in France, and this, well, it couldn't have hurt him. This is the guitar fellatio shot. 1,000 people, Oxford Town Hall, just after the release of Ziggy Stardust. Look, you can see how small on quite a few of the pictures. Look, they're right up against the stage. And he was biting Mick's guitar. He wasn't actually going to go down. And he told me about it. And there is a frame before, and he's standing up, and he said it was the way Mick swung his guitar. And I always point out to people, he's not actually on his knees in this picture, but maybe it's the tender way he's squeezing his buttocks. I don't know. But it had the timing, that whole ambiguous sexuality. It's like the perfect rock and roll image for that moment in time. And look at the shoes. I love the shoes. I think Bette Midler pointed this out to him, but he actually bought them with Serinda Fox, who was a lady who had been involved with the Warhol factory that he had a relationship, who's the blonde in Jean Genie. And this, look at the outfits, that's another space vibe. And this, look how well he did that. You notice that in the Sonos shop, the big picture at the beginning. But I mean, look, that's perfect. Owl eyes. This one for years, but people really like it. They kept asking me, Mick, you need to put this picture in an exhibition. So, life on Mars. Didn't really have an idea. No, you didn't really need one with David. Look at him. You need the energy and the desire and the get on with it caper. These three, the terrible trio. The more famous shot actually has the manager. Tony DeFries right there was managing David and Iggy. And this was a big, they'd flown over a load of American journalists in the wake of the release of Ziggy Stardust before we all went over there in the September with Iggy. Well, he helped it, and Iggy's got his silver hair.
It's a baby there.
Well, it's Raw Power days. Even though they're his most famous pictures, he was very young. He was the youngest. He was about 22, I think. Everybody else was more like 25, 24. I art-directed the the Pin-Ups album cover. At one point this shot was going to be the cover, and then the Twiggy shot came up, so that was that. And I love this shot, perfect framing. I got really good at shooting David, look, right? I mean, that's a performance shot, not cropped, and nor is this one. But of course I was very comfortable because I had this total access, David's total confidence, and he was an amazing subject. God bless. This is from that early session, the big face, the Space Oddity face over there. And this was on the Queen Elizabeth when, would have been January of '73, when he was on his way to America. Well, he's not on his way, he's parked. And I had driven down to, where was it? Probably Port Southampton. And and I went on board and took a few pictures. And it's the only time, of course, his hair was wet and he just slicked it back. So the only time I got this particular image, these images, a series of images. This is also from that early session that sealed our relationship. Doesn't get shown quite, this is the one that gets, that's the one. And these, I like these because look at the ridiculous trousers. Crazy trousers. I'll get to those in a minute. And then, of course, what do we have here? These two. Yeah. Did great books with both of them just before they died. And of course, Shot is dedicated to these two. They look like schoolgirls. They're so fabulous. Oh, so the museum show has just requested this to be added. So it's going to the Queen's Museum in March. And I'm going to do a couple of things for it. Yeah, well, because he's got a bloody cigarette in his mouth. But I love this. I think these are the elegance that he had a look. It's so sweet. Letting her kiss his hand. Look. Great thing with digital is this was in the shot, but it wasn't clear because the hand was forward and it's a flash shot. So it kind of got bleached out. But with digital, when I prepared the files and remastered a load of them, was able to go in and bring that out. And that made the shot. 73. 72, the audience doesn't know what to make of it. 73 in England, and look how young they all are. He had a young following, and he also had all the intellectuals, you know, the college kids. Ah, yeah. That's Pierre Laroche makeup. He did the makeup for Pin-Ups and Aladdin Sane, and he also did it for the Life on Mars video. Always complaining that he never got paid, which he didn't, but none of us did. So what are you going to say? Those were the days. But he had some balls, David. I mean, look at that outfit. I mean, that's, it's like, but he could inhabit the craziest of stuff and make it. Look, look at the hands, shit, look what he's, got loads of him in that outfit.
Didn't really put really in the outlook. So
and then this 1980 floor show. Originally, and I don't have pictures of it, before he had a hand right here. But it was an American program, so they were a bit touchy about, you know, him grabbing his own nuts. So, and this one I always liked. This was taken probably from this was taken in America on that first tour. And look, the symbiosis. And Mick and David. Woof. Oh yeah. He never looked like that. He only at this one time for Life on Mars. The insane suit. Oh yeah.
Because David looks great, and was in that what we call plastic James Dean outfit, which he also wore Anyway,
You mumbling Mick, stop it. And at lunch on the train, because he wouldn't fly from London to Aberdeen. Look how mundane it all is too. And these two looking like, you know, they just landed. I like the look between them though. Look. And this, you can see the food a bit better, but look. So mundane, the whole thing. British Rail lunch. And that would be Ken Scott, who was his co-producer. And even David had to sleep sometime. You ain't going to find any other shots out there of him sleep. This was the first setup session I did for, it's actually in Rolling Stone magazine, because I'd done a little interview. What I like is this. Look, these little ballet shoes. And the cigarette, you naughty boy. Oh, then these three queens, look at them.
Hello.
Is she talking to me?
Oh, is everybody on it? Oh, okay.
Did they actually kiss, miss?
Of course they did. Look,
Okay.
look, the lips are pursed.
We're all out there and the bus is out there, I guess.
They were fabulous. And those two, geniuses. Oh, this is a better rendition of this photograph, because when I prepped this book, we brought back a bit of the detail. It was really the first frame on a roll. And so you get that sometimes with film where it's a bit burnt. We had to burn this in. Look at him, the cheeky devil. Oh yeah, now there's some of the other culprits here. Rocky Horror, Tim Curry. I have all that, and then Iggy from the Raw Power session, and Debbie and Sid. We haven't got the Queen cover, but we do have Freddie. And they're all related to him. One is he was obsessed with Sid. Two is he took me to see Rocky Horror. Three, that's Iggy. Four, her early tours in England, Blondie were with David. And Freddie, because Freddie was Freddie. Plus he did those collaborations with David, like Under Pressure for a start, Transformer. And David and Mick co-produced it, of course, so this was an important album by any standards. And somehow it defined Lou forever. Why, I don't know. But I suppose he looks like a degenerate. The spotter. God bless him. Should have been the cover. And I was the art director too, of all the young dudes. But I think I took a different drug and somehow it ended up different. But many years later it got used on a Third Eye Blind cover. Look at him. And he came like that. That's, there was some kid, I wandered around London shooting a lot of these different kids. Some of them duded up, some of them all, but this one couldn't really top that in some of my film. But
he was a bit. Had another day to edit the thing, and anyway, it got done. David always liked everything. He never asked me to change anything. I mean, with David always liked
these big rosettes on there. Chicago, David playing around again. He could do it deadpan because he'd studied all that mime. So he had great control over his social features, his facial features. And he's got little nipples like me, look. But I noticed that, but I thought, oh, how about that, David? Some men have big hairy ones, you know, but we had these little puffy ones. Yeah, that was Scotland. I like that shot. That was what we would call his Judy Garland, you know, Rock and Roll Suicide, that one's called. Again, Chicago. He just got to the gig, you can see, because he's not, here he's got the bottom half of his drag on, but great subject. But he didn't mind. Whatever I did, he never. I suppose I wasn't. I was still young and not very pushy, you know. I could glide in. Jean Genie, San Francisco. I think it must have been November of '72. Again, I think I had 2 days warning on this. Someone found me a studio. I got a cameraman who was actually great, Jerry Slick. He was Grace Slick from the Jefferson Airplane, first husband. And then the performance stuff I shot because there was no money and I didn't think we had enough material. But look, and they look all so fabulous. But only Wood is still going, you know. The rest are all gone. Beverly Hills Hotel. I think this was one I showed her, that thing I did at the Beverly Hills Hotel, was it? I think it was, yeah. I always like, I mean, it looks like a stick insect. There's something about the whole thing. This was, with Serinda in, on the streets of San Francisco, where we also shot some of Jean Genie. Was that San Francisco? No, Santa Monica, yes. But this must be San Francisco. Yeah, this is San Francisco, the perfect limp wrist shot for the period. Look, the earrings, I think they were Serinda's earrings, and he took a fancy. He always will nail varnish. Him and Lou in nail varnish, I like that shot. Ah, look. So this is again Jean Genie. So I got tons of great stills from that shoot. Another one of the Beverly Hills Hotel shot. Looks so adorable. And a cigarette note. Look at the cigarette. Cigarettes, a lot of cigarettes David smoked, which certainly didn't help his health. Hello, love. How are you doing?
You're still standing.
Just about.
An old rocker survivor.
Yeah, they let me off the wheelchair every so often.
Crawled out from under your whatever you slept in last night.
Yeah, some coal in the ground.
Stayed out really late.
No, I didn't.
I know. Let's play like.
Oh no, yeah, I have to play.
You stayed out all night, right?
Yeah, all night, yeah. Chorus girls galore, you name it. And yeah, we mix and match, you know.
Oh, you want a picture? A picture too?
Well, look, with that behind me, and on my, and I want you to, please.
You want it on your phone?
Yes.
I can do that, I think.
No, I work.
Yo, I figured that much.
Yeah.
That's.
What's your name?
Sean Baker.
So the billionaires fraternize.
Yeah.
It's so clever how they do the play on words, Bowie Rock.